is Kam Jinnah. I'm TekSynap's CEO and founder. Got the company started back in 2008. Revenues began in 2009, and we've had a really wonderful near 17-year trek. Henry Tragle, to my right, your left probably, is brand new to the company, so we decided to baptize Henry by fire and test him with the first ever Hot Takes program.
How could I say no? How could I say no to this? This is very interesting. This is definitely something that I have not experienced at any other company that I've been at. But
Henry's been here for a minute, and he told me after he got voluntold that he's like not a hot sauce guy. So
I've got two things that I'm going to share. I'm not good at two things in particular. Number one, scary movies. I'm terrible. And number two, hot sauce. I'm terrible at hot sauce. So this could be interesting. So here we go.
So paying homage to the guy that first started this, and I think where the idea was birthed by our wonderful and talented marketing department, led by Grace, is a guy named Sean Evans, who kind of has guests in and does hot sauce tasting while they ask tougher and tougher questions of the guests, so that with each nugget with the hot sauce on it, it gets a little bit hotter. So with that, why don't we go ahead and jump into the first question?
Okay, I think that with the first question, we need to eat our first hot sauce, right?
I guess so. Let's go.
Okay, so what we got here, number one, is called Hot Ones. It's garlic Fresno. All right, so we need to put a good generous amount on here. I'll let you put your own on.
I'm not going to be putting. Oh,
that's
I'm
a lot.
not putting that much on mine.
That's going to be tough.
You just.
That's a lot.
I did too. All right. Our first one is Hot Ones, the classic.
Okay. So it's tolerable. It's tolerable. It actually tastes pretty good. And we're on to our first question. And you go first.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let me swallow so I'm not talking with my mouth full. Okay, so how would you describe TekSynap's mission, culture, and core values? Question mark. This question comes in from Miss Christine Schimmel.
Okay, thank you for the question, Christine. I've been at a number of companies. I'm a big believer in, and it's a philosophy. There was a philosophy that was back in the 90s. It was CX, customer experience, right? And in order to, customer satisfaction is all driven by customer experience. And there's this book called Growth Mindset, and AWS and Google follow this philosophy. We do it here. I believe it's intentionally. I don't know this unconsciously, but in order to have proper customer experience, you need to focus and invest in employee experience. What I've noticed here in my short time here at TekSynap, it has an employee experience unlike any other company. We see that at the holiday party. We see that with just the general collaboration. But you can't have good CX without EX. And we really focus on driving that employee experience here and ensuring it's positive. I think that's a core crux to TekSynap. And I've really enjoyed it in my short tenure here.
So
to you, Cam.
I'll add to it, I guess, a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an ex-keyboard jockey. I was a network engineer at 4Systems, and then when I joined General Dynamics, this was 17, 18 years ago, I moved from the technology side of the house to the management side of the house, just trying to learn different aspects of the business. And I remember thinking that if I ever was blessed with the ability to have my own company, which materialized, that I would always remember the employees and their mission. So I am, if you go onto our website, the message from the CEO is the same one that was put up there when the company was founded. And I've always believed that if you take care of the employee and you don't just talk about taking care of them, but you are giving them, but not just saying with words that you care about them, but giving them a wonderful benefits package and a wonderful tuition reimbursement package and doing all those things for them, that when you take care of your employees, they will take care of your customers. And when your customers are taken care of, everything else falls into place. I'm often asked, what's the recipe? How has TekSynap grown so fast in such a short period of time? And it's pretty simple. Take care of your employees because they're on the front lines taking care of your customers. And when they're happy and the customers are happy, you're able to drive new business and solve mission problems. So technology is at the heart of that, but humans are what drive technology. And without the smart humans that we have, you can't bring and solve real mission problems. So our culture and core values are really centered around that idea.
Awesome. All right. You ready?
Are we ready for the
Here we
next
go.
one?
So as these questions progress, they're supposed to get more difficult. The hot sauce is going to get hotter. So we're on to number
Okay, so I'll
two.
cap this one. You pull the next one.
Okay, I got the next one.
And
And
you
I'll-
guys will know, hold on, you will know if it's too hot for me because I get the hiccups when it's too hot. So if I start hiccuping,
so we're already, the names will slightly get more aggressive. This is seeing double. Seeing double.
That's number two.
That's number two, man.
Oh,
Buckle
geez.
up. Make sure you don't pour too much on because you don't know what
Oh,
you're getting
Sam,
into.
I'm coming for you. He picked the hot sauce. He promised me he would make
There you
make
go.
him eat. Seeing double is number two. Ay, ay, ay. Someone removed the inhibitor. It like comes straight out of the bottle.
So I'll say it's probably it is definitely hotter than the first one. But we haven't hit that level of pain yet. The pain's coming. Okay. Next question. This is from Anonymous. If you could travel back in time and give one piece of advice, of professional advice to yourself, let me rephrase this. If you could give one piece of professional advice to your early career self, what would it be?
So, gosh, there's so many things I would tell myself if I could go back in time. And I think we all would wish for this. But the one that comes to mind immediately is from in a previous lifetime, I had a really wonderful customer. I took it upon myself. We had done some really amazing things for them. And I was at a trade show and I was giving a small speech about, what we had done with this customer. And I neglected to ask him for permission before I used him as a reference or called him out by name in the presentation. And the regret that I have was I just assumed that his answer would be yes. And I shouldn't have done that. You should always have the professional courtesy of giving someone an opportunity to say, yes, I'm good with you quoting me, or yes, I'm good with you referring to my program, my company, my mission, my name, whoever it is. You should always seek that professional advice first. So I guess the advice that I give my younger self is and this is actually life advice for everything, right? Don't assume that you know the answer, especially when you're asking something of someone else. It's always, hey, do you mind if I use your name? And do you mind if I mention you? And usually you'll get a yes or a reason why they can't do it. In that case, he needed to vet it with his supervisors. So he was a yes immediately, but he has other people he reports to. And I was naming, a professional government agency who I will not name again. I won't make the same mistake again, but he needed to get permission himself. So an overstep. How about you, Henry?
A number of things. I think going back, you're going to go through in your career, and when you're working hard, sometimes you put your neck out there. It's not always going to be easy. You're going to have moments that you're going to have to dig down and be tough on things. But my recommendation is always keep your head up and always remain positive through those harder times. That's pretty simple advice, but it's good advice. Keep your head up.
True that. All right, are we ready for the next one?
Here we go. So number three, right? All right, what do we got for number three? Number three is Hot Ones again, but it's a different version of Hot Ones.
The classic was the first one. What's that one?
Barbacoa. So let's see what this one's like.
It looks darker.
It is darker. I used a lot.
You are generous with the hot
I know.
sauce. I'm not going to be that generous.
I know.
But for those of you who are wondering if I'm actually putting it on there, I am. When I watched this on TV, I watched Gordon Ramsay doing it, and he was a mess by the end of it.
So barbacoa is like a hot barbecue sauce.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's like a hot barbecue sauce. It's really good.
Okay, I have to swallow. It's my turn to ask a question.
Yep.
Okay.
What do we got?
All right, here we go. From Mayor Fred Evans. Throughout your career, I imagine that you have had the opportunity to learn from some strong mentors and leaders, some not so strong mentors. What is the one lesson, Henry, that you've learned from your best mentor? And what's the one lesson you've learned from your worst leader that you've had?
All right, let me give that some thought. I've had a lot of mentors. I have had the privilege not to have too many bad mentors. Um, from one of my best mentors and early in my career, something that's stayed with me, and I think you've worked with this gentleman as well, was KNOW, the NO.
Mhm.
Yep. And I think that's very important. And it's very important what we do here at TekSynap. Know when to pivot and turn and no bid an opportunity when we're spread too thin. But KNOW, the NO. And
That's hard because I always want to bid everything, but when you spread yourself too thin, it doesn't work.
yeah, you're thin and your value is thin as well. And you can go deep if you're focused on certain things and focused on what we invest in here at TekSynap. So KNOW, the NO, know the no. Some of the worst that I've had has been, it was kind of forcefully told me, was, Henry, never apologize. And it right when it hit me, it never really.
I don't know if that's good advice. Definitely not.
I think that's terrible advice. I don't follow that advice, but it was told to me sternly and very confidently, and it never really digested.
Well, all of us make mistakes, so that's
Yeah.
definitely not good advice.
Well, the mistake doesn't stick if you don't apologize for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or own it.
Is a philosophy, but you know what?
You got to own it, right?
Exactly. So Cam, to you, sir.
This one's hard, I actually got to say, because I've learned from I've learned from good mentors and people who were not so good. So let me take a stab. Well, one of my best friends and one of my smartest people around me is David Goldfeld, our president. And he's been a strong mentor for me over the years because before the company was founded, we both worked at General Dynamics. And he was a general manager on the civilian side of the equation. And he's just been a very strong mentor for me. He has what I call the top 10. Over the years, he always has these wonderful little sound bites of things he writes. And I eventually wrote them all down and made an acrylic little thing out of it that's sitting in his office to this day. And one of them is luck favors the prepared. And I love this one because let's face it, sometimes you need to get a little lucky in this business to land the win, but you have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, you can't have a hope of winning. So the company lives and breathes this every day. It's kind of built into our DNA. Like when we first went after our first round of ISO certifications and our CMMI certifications, we had to be prepared and have those because a lot of proposals in the government realm, they require that you have ISO 9001 and ISO 20000 and CMMI for services and CMMI for development. And we just achieved, CMMI for services level security, services, and security services and development. And there are very few companies who have achieved all three of those at level 5. And hats off to our internal teams. They have just killed it and made it.
That's awesome.
But you do these things to be prepared. And I'd say as a mentor, that I learned that from David early on as one of my strongest mentors because he would say these things that were funny, but when you take the time to reflect about them, it starts to become a part of how you operate. From my weakest ones, it centers around a book that I would encourage all of you to read. It has a funny name. It's called Eat That Frog. Who wants to eat a frog? It sounds really disgusting, right? And the idea is around time management. And eating the frog is all about if you've got a tough task or a tough mission or something you really don't like to do, but you have to get done, whether it's studying for a test or walking the dog or doing something that is maybe not so fun, but it has to get done. Eat That Frog is, I I had a whole thing centered around a guy who gave me that book, um, saying that I needed to learn how to eat the frog, but actually he was the one who needed to learn how to eat that frog. So for me, those are things that I've learned along the way. And Mayor Fred, that was a great question and a hard one for me to answer.
That sounds like something advice my wife would give me with household projects. Finish it.
Get,
Get it done.
I used to have this lighter that, eat that, get her done, get her done. Like the military's talk of just don't wait.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
things
like
that are
that.
hard, you just have to go do. Like I remember when I was studying for my PMP, it was like the last thing on the planet I wanted to do because the PMP is very hard. And they make you learn stuff that's not really intuitive. And you have to answer the questions in the test in a certain way. But the answer that's the logical one is not the answer that is the right one. So, it's kind of those concepts around mentoring is a very important thing. But anyway, I'm kind of diverging from their question, but great question. All right, are we ready for the next one?
We're ready. So we're on number 4, right? And I think,
We're going pretty fast here.
oh, is that the kimchi?
Oh, this is the one you probably.
I'm not a fan of kimchi. This is the fermented hot kimchi.
I love kimchi. This one's going to be good for me.
Okay. See if I can just get a little bit on there. Slow. There we go. I want to be real, man. I want to take the full experience. I want to get some on there.
Okay, that one you were light on, so.
It was a little light, but
All right, you guys can see that I'm actually doing this, but this isn't hard for me because I like kimchi. My wife hates kimchi, especially when I eat it. She's like, go away, you stink. But it's good for you. Did you know that?
what?
Kimchi is
Kimchi?
good for you, yeah.
Mm.
It's good for your gut. All right.
Okay. Ready? Question number 4.
That's
If you
good.
could implement one groundbreaking idea or innovation at TekSynap without any restrictions, what would it be? This is submitted by Anonymous.
Wait, come again.
If you could implement one groundbreaking idea or innovation at TekSynap without any restrictions, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, without any restrictions. Okay, so God, as a technology company, there's so many things that you can do. One of the things that I think is groundbreaking, and I'm hoping that we have more questions centered around this and artificial intelligence and things like it, because we have done some advances in our TekCellerate lab that I think are pretty damn cool to solve real world mission problems for our customers. And if I would have to say groundbreaking and innovative, it would be taking some of the technology solutions that we have. Let me give a real world example. Tron, Text Recognition Optimization Network. It was the prototype name of a solution. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission came to us and they said, we need to take this 17 terabytes of data that's all image files. And we need to ingest all of these. We need to optical character recognize, OCR them, and then we want to make them text searchable so that I can do queries against the image. Because the way they were doing it was literally like microfiche and then put it up on the computer screen and look for what they were searching for.
This is all unclassified, right?
Yeah, this is unclassified.
Good.
Yeah, I think so. No, it is. And what's cool about it is this solution that we came up with. We prototyped in the TekCellerate lab. We showed the government a proof of concept in the lab that worked. We moved it from the lab into their test environment, and they loved what it was able to do. And then from there, 6 months later, they moved it in production. And the CIO was quoted as saying that it was the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's, he described it as the most transformative thing that they had done in a decade. And I thought to
That's
myself,
really cool.
it is really cool, but I was thinking to myself at the time when we did this last year, it was groundbreaking for them.
Yeah.
But if you think about the various aspects of doing that, it's not that hard. Like OCR has been around for many, many years.
Decades.
And taking the database, but what made it great for them was doing it all at once and being able to put a graphical user interface in front of it that allowed them to just search on the fly. I mean, you'd think that we had given them the best Christmas gift they had ever had. And some of those solutions, and this is a challenge for all of you out there watching, those solutions, you guys have them, or you've thought of them, or you see a problem that the customer's having. I would encourage all of you to bring them forward, because those innovations that we bring are actually what allowed this company to grow to the next level and frankly help our customers solve real world mission problems. That prototype actually has now been patented and trademarked as a company technology. And there have been several since then that were built on the same framework. So cognitive search capabilities was something that now Microsoft is actually debuting it at their next trade show as one of the representative examples of advancing their AI engines on their platforms. So it's pretty cool stuff. But I would say without any restrictions, um, we have a lab that has a lot of without any restrictions attached to it. How about you?
So I'm in complete agreement. Whenever you have a company the size of TekSynap to make that next level jump, to make us from a 400, $500 million company to that $1 billion company, the key element is that, and how to fast forward to get to that position, is intellectual property.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about here is intellectual property. Now, intellectual property, I've seen it happen within organizations, and it comes up with ideas. And I'm going to give an example. Had Daryl, who runs our Navy business, send out an email that he was forwarding something over LinkedIn, and he sent it to both you and I, and it was for new WAN technologies. And we talked about what would be feasible for a new type of WAN technology, and to have a Star Shield WAN technology coming down to a CBRS or Wi-Fi 5G capability, going out to CDS, a cross-domain solution to uh, uh, EverFox or some type of technology like that, where you have multiple domain classifications over a single device, leveraging commercial uses for classified. I know most of the people out there are tracking all these acronyms. I'm not trying to get people lost. But to package that, put a title on it, we came up with an acronym of that, and to have intellectual property associated to that that's backed by AI would be a fantastic product. The reason why is because all of our customers are asking for that and that capability ATO'd. But those type of ideas, that's an example of what's the next step is, but it's intellectual property with regards to an AI solution, taking that OCR, that picture data, and making having intelligence of all that data, or putting these kits together. And there's ideas of kits and the kits that make sense, and getting it ATO'd, getting it certified, and putting intellectual property on top of that with some software.
So I was getting really crazy with groundbreaking ideas. I would love, like, if any of you, I'm going to date myself a little bit, the Jetsons. If anybody remembers the Jetsons, where they had those little pod cars that you could get in and cruise around. If I had no restrictions whatsoever, I'd like a TekSynap version of a hovercraft that you could cruise around in. But that's a little bit more outside of what we do because we're not a manufacturer, we're a services company. All right, you ready for the next one?
Ready. All right, so we're on number 5. I think we're going to start getting serious here. This one is called Fat Cat, not necessarily a more aggressive name, but Chairman Meow's Revenge. When you have the word revenge, that's a little aggressive.
Yeah,
though.
I'm afraid of this one. This one has like orange oil on the
That
top.
probably needs to be shaken up.
This one's scary. So far, they haven't been too bad.
Not suffering yet. There's no sweat going.
Sam's gonna live to fight another day.
I put a lot of this on.
This one doesn't look too bad. All right, whose turn is it? To ask questions.
Me. What would you say has been the biggest professional blunder? And what did you learn from it? That was submitted by anonymous. Everyone's afraid to submit their names with these questions.
This is a good question, though.
Uh-huh.
There are so many to choose from.
Not for me.
I believe you when you say that. All right, so what would you say has been your biggest professional blunder? And if so, follow-up questions are permitted. What did I learn from it? Oh gosh, there's so many different ones to choose from. I told one of them early that was, related to taking too much of a liberty with a customer. But on the professional side of the equation, geez, what would I say? When I started the company, I assumed that going after business would be easy. Um, and it proved to be quite challenging. I left a Fortune 500 company, General Dynamics at the time, and I had lots of great relationships inside the company. And I had this idea that with all those people, I would be able to just turn around and become General Dynamics' #1 sub. And the reality is, when you start your own business, the professional blunder that I would say is I assumed that a lot of those uh, things that you do when you launch a company that you take for granted when you're at a big company. Um, people like to give HR a hard time, or accounting a hard time, or finance a hard time. Or those support functions that are in a company, they're hard to build and hard to support. And the people that run your back office, I assumed all those things were, you know, just there and they would just be there to support me. When you're a small company, you have 5 people, your accounting, your payroll, your everything. We're now 1,200 people strong and we have a department for pretty much all of those functions. But along the way, the professional blunder that I made was devaluing those things and not appreciating those support people that are around me to help grow and run the business every day. And I had to learn the hard way that there isn't, somebody over there that you can just call to take care of that problem. It's you. So not being professionally prepared when we first started the company would probably be, I underestimated um, how much goes into it. And I don't know, what would you say?
Uh,
You don't have any blunders.
yeah, I don't have any.
How about
I'll
this
tell.
morning when
No, no, no. A blunder in the next 15 minutes. Um, I'll tell a story it's kind of in the early part of my career. It was blunder, and I'll tell you that I'll structure the story this way. I'm going to tell you what I learned from it, and it's a bit of advice, and then I'll tell a story. But basically, know your audience. And here's the story. I worked in the Pentagon. I was a contractor, and I would have Cisco come in. I would have 4 Systems come in, and I loved the way that they operated. And I aspired to be in one of those OEMs. And when I had my opportunity, I took it. And it was with a company that Cam used to work with. It was 4 Systems, and an acquisition of Marconi occurred. And I was an engineer, and I always wanted to be the best engineer. This was in the late '90s, and the stipulation was I had to work up at headquarters. So I commuted from DC area to Pittsburgh. I did that for over a year, and they had me as a tag repairman, if you will, for large network outages for service providers. And I remember one of them, I was up for 72 hours working with, this was Cox Communications infrastructure, and it was down in Tidewater. And we were trying to figure everything out. There are links down, and we were making recommendations. All right, there were basically so the CEO of Cox Communications came and said, "All right, I need to go out and have a press conference right now. Tell me what's going on." And I was like, "All right, sir, this is what's going on. Your PDI tables are too long because you're using this wrong thing, and your route table is going here, and then you're having failures here, blah, 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 blah." And I used all these acronyms and everything, and I was so excited that I had like a knowledge and fundamental understanding of what was going on. And then he looked at me and goes, "Uh-huh, uh-huh." And then he turned, pivoted, went over to the news for people that were trying, what's going on? Because these little service providers in these areas back in the late '90s, they had everything. They had all the businesses, and so it was a big deal. So the local news was there, and he went like this: "We've experienced a virus." So the title of the news was that it was a virus. And basically, when I have a conversation with Cam, I need to make sure that it's the appropriate conversation. When I have a conversation with Alex Ram, who's more technical, that we have that appropriate conversation. But when you're having a conversation with your customer, make sure you know what level your customer, so they're able to understand what you're articulating.
That reminds me of one of my biggest professional blunders, so I'll add to mine. This was when I was a keyboard jockey and an engineer for 4 Systems. I was at the patent trademark office, and they had a quad core redundant core, OC12 backbone, that was connected like a cube, like every edge connected on each side of the cube. And the core went down. And I was the SE that had to support it. Actually, this is how David Goldfeld and I met at the patent trademark office. And it was so stressful. I was sitting in front of their data rack, and it's like a rack is 16 foot long with all the single mode fiber optics coming in there. And I was jacked into the power hub because they used the power hub back then. You remember the power hub, right?
Yep.
Atlantic power hub. We're taking you guys way back. And I was on my laptop trying to solve it. And I realized while I was sitting there at the keyboard that there was a semicircle of people behind me watching what I was doing. And at first I didn't realize who they were. And then I kind of glanced over this way, and I realized that they were the C-suite of the Patent Trademark Office, like all of the C-level executives going, when is it going to be up? It's broken. Are you going to fix it? Are you going to fix it? I'm like, I remember at one point being really overwhelmed, and this was a blunder at the time. I didn't realize it was the biggest blunder. I turned around and I very respectfully said, no pressure. Can you give me a little space to do my job? And I didn't, at the time, I didn't realize all of them were at the top of the organization. And in retrospect, I wish I had kind of just taken a deep breath, maybe taken a break, and handled that situation a little bit better. But all of us are in situations where it gets a little hot, a little tense, maybe with a colleague or a customer. You have to like take a deep breath, and what you want to say might not be the wisest thing to say. Just take a deep breath. So
that's good advice.
We could go on and on with blunders.
Yeah,
I mean, I have many of them. So anyway.
But we're going to move on because I don't want to talk about any of them.
All right. So are we doing 6?
We're doing 6.
All right. I shook this one up because this one had like a hot oil, evil looking thing on the top. So hopefully it's not going to be as bad as I think it's going to be.
All right. Let's see here.
All right. What's the name of this one?
This one is Omnia, ILMIG plus. Habanero, sherry, koji.
Just one top.
It is? I put a lot on. That's not good.
My mother told me not to talk with my mouth full. Oh my gosh, this one's kicking. This one is real. This one's kicking. I'm going to the milk. It's
that one of those delayed hot things.
Oh, I can feel it in my cheeks. Oh, Omnia.
I'm still not going to
stay away from this one. Unless you like hot sauce. As soon as you said habanero, I knew it was going to be hot.
All right. Who has the question?
I don't know.
Is it me?
I can't think now. I think it's your turn. Yeah, no.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, no, yes.
This one is
this is a long one.
Christopher Witt.
A buck.
Yeah, it's a long question. Let's see what we got here.
Okay.
For the last decade, the focus has been on the migration to the cloud. I believe the next decade will be about systems that think, adopt, and process before we do. I believe AI won't just enhance our IT, it will become our IT industry. What positions are you and Mr. Tragle and others taking at TekSynap at the forefront of the industry to be at the forefront of the industry trend? I believe it has, and it will continue to affect all positions here at our company. Again, Christopher Witt, thanks for submitting that. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh, this is a great question, Christopher. God, there's so much going on here. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I went to McDonald's the other day, and there was literally no one behind the counter. It was these digital displays, and I had to walk up. Oh, shit. My wife is going to kill me because I'm not supposed to eat at McDonald's. It's off limits. But I went there, and there was nobody behind the counter, and I had to walk up to this digital display and order. And then there was just a person that handed you your meal. I think that's a good example of how the industry technology is completely changing the way we are as a society. I mean, even Elon Musk has a robot that you can pre-order right now. It's like the Rosie of the future, except for it's a little creepy looking. But I think it's fascinating what's happening with technology. And AI won't just enhance our IT industry, it will become our IT industry. This is just true.
I agree.
How and what it takes shape is still in the hands of humans. At least for now, Skynet's not here. But I think it's fascinating to watch. And I think this is such an exciting time to be alive because the enhancements and the advances are coming faster and faster and faster. I have a friend last year, this is a true story. I will not name the friend, who's in the GovCon space, whose company actually ingested the RFP, had the tool write the response, and they won. Now, on one hand, wow, that's pretty cool. I can respond to all of the stuff we want to respond to. But on the flip side, there's a moral issue of you wrote a response that you didn't really write. The tool wrote it for you. Does your company, do your people, do your staff, does your workforce really have those skills? It's almost like cheating. And now you have the tools to chase the tools. You actually have the government investing in tools that will look for the AI written stuff in the written responses. And this, the McDonald's thing and the RFP automatically being written and then the tools that catch it, these are just two ways in which the industry is changing dramatically.
So let me ask, do you think orals, or we're seeing more orals requirements? Is that because we're seeing more AI generated? Well, my personal belief is whenever I used to have a boss that used to like type emails and used to be one-liners.
The pecker.
Yeah, but the thing is, that was his fingerprint. That was the way he communicated over, and it's like that's almost going away. And
But actually, let me interrupt you. That's a great idea. That's a great point there. When I was in high school, my mom made me take typing, and I didn't want to take it. It was just not the guy thing to do, right? Typing? I'm not going to be a secretary, am I? Thank God she made me take typing because I use typing all the time now. So I'm just like, that's an example. It's not technology, but when I made that choice back then, and she made me and my brother take it. We're in the same class, and he was always better at typing than I was. Not anymore, but it was a simple choice to adopt the technology that was there. Typing. I can now write faster than I can type faster than I can write. The same is true now. So for those of you out there who are just dancing with technology, embrace it, learn how to manipulate it, learn how to prompt it. The company's made major investments in TekSynap and AI tools. We have licensed many copies of ChatGPT professional versions. Grok is there. You have Copilot. You have Microsoft has a couple of different platforms, and you need to start playing with that tools because they're here now. Um, I had another cool thing happen to me with images. I don't know if you played with the image generation engine in ChatGPT or
not
Grok?
yet.
It's so cool. You can like say, I would like you to build me a futuristic cover for a proposal that has a blend
That's really cool.
of Star Trek meets Lord of the Rings. And damn if it doesn't spit out something that's pretty damn good. I That technology that's here now should allow all of us in this space to be smarter and more efficient if you embrace it. If you don't embrace it, you're going to get left behind. And a lot of those things that you see in your customer spaces that are common mission problems, you should think about how to use technology to solve those mission problems with the advances in technology. We're doing some of that cool stuff. I want to try to answer this person's question because I could spend the hour talking
Yeah.
about this. There's so many things that you can do with the advances that are right at our doorstep. And it's an exciting time because there's the tools that I love that we're building right now in our TekSynap lab are the ones I mentioned already are Tron, Megatron, but there's also Arta. There is a technology engine that taps data lakes of information, sources through that information, and presents to analysts the 10% of the data that's most important. We and there's another platform called Crata. We don't have the time to go through all of them today, but those tools advance the customer's mission by doing really creative things. We live in an age where you actually have too much information coming at you. And those lakes of information can be most efficiently sifted through by AI. And if the AI engine is built properly, it'll take the most 10% of the most interesting things and raise them to the security analyst who needs to look at them, or the cyber chief who needs to worry about them, or the business professional who needs to look at where the problems lie. There's a lot of advancements coming. So if you have any interest in these things, reach out to your supervisor and find out more about what TekSynap is doing, because there's a lot going on in that arena.
Yeah, I was at a conference. I believe it was Jason Martin who said this, but it was one of those things that sticks. And he said, AI is not going to take your job. The people that are effectively using
Yeah.
AI, they're going to take your job. So spend some time, get to know the AI tools. Just like him, I had a similar experience where I had a light bulb moment. And are we going to 7?
But it's got a terrible name.
But so I had a light bulb moment. I was with a company and they were bragging. It was a little over a year ago. It's like, we're doing all of our proposal generation and it's all through AI. And I was amazed by it. Now, recently, I heard that not only is proposal generation being done by AI, but we are having generation, or not generation, but the review of proposals is being done by AI.
Yes, that's
And-
fascinating.
And so Ditko, we've learned that they're actually looking at software to do the review of proposals. So we have AI creating proposals, AI reviewing proposals. I think that's why we're seeing more orals, because they need the people.
They want to kick the tires,
Right.
slam the doors,
Right.
and meet the people who are going to support them. Because it's still about humans. It's called red flag.
Red flag. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're really getting aggressive
It's
on
a
this one.
red flag moment. I can feel it. My eyes are getting like moist from the heat.
It looks like this one looks more like your traditional barbecue sauce, though.
All right, let you
All
go.
right, you ready? All right, boom. It's hot.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Yeah, it takes a while to kick in, but it is really hot. Did you put too much on?
Yes. I don't have the hiccups yet.
All right, is it you or me?
I don't know. I think you asked that one. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
What's one emerging technology that you believe will have the greatest impact on TekSynap services in the next decade, and why? Anonymous.
Another anonymous. I think we talked about AI a lot. I would like to talk more about that, but I'm gonna focus more on our area of responsibilities and kind of with integration services. With integration services, we are very good at managed services. We've invested in this managed service capability. We're expanding on our success that we've had with the VA, and we've had a great team. And we've built our integration services organization. It's only 2 years old, and after 2 years, we have deals like Department of State, we have Forestry, HUD, Postal, and this business model of managed services is we're becoming pretty efficient at it. We're actually pursuing this business model. It keeps getting hotter, but we're pursuing this business model and
No kidding.
diversifying our customer base, pursuing projects like at the University of Pittsburgh. We think if this business model takes place and we do a managed service with all of their IT assets, they work in small communities with the education, higher education. And winning a huge account like Pittsburgh would go over to other accounts like Frostburg, even taken to other places outside of the state of Pennsylvania. So managed service, since we talked about the AI as much as we did, I'll go over to that. And also within my area of responsibility, integration services, we're really good at that.
Yes, I agree. So I'll take it from there. Emerging technology. You know, everybody on the lips of everybody is AI ML, machine learning, artificial intelligence. And I think a lot of people use it loosely and they don't really understand really what when they apply it or they're thinking about it. A company showed me what they were doing with AI, and by the time that I was finished looking at it, it was really just a bunch of fancy batching and scripting. It wasn't really AI, but they were putting lipstick on that peg and trying to sell it as a product that was AI. And I think all of us need to be careful that the true power of an emerging technology must first be harnessed. And I'll give an example that we've prototyped now called ARDA. ARDA stands for Advanced Research Driven Analytics. And what it is it's an engine that pulls from different lakes of information. So one example is I have a lake of satellite data that's taking pictures of a facility. I have another lake of information about the sensors at that facility, and I have another lake of information about the users that are supposed to have access to that facility. I need to tap those lakes of information, and this week it's a secure facility, let's say, and that facility usually has only 3 cars in the parking lot. And this week it now has 4 cars. Well, that's interesting because it's not supposed to have 4 cars. There's no one scheduled for a visit. There shouldn't be 4 cars. Why are there 4 cars? So when you have a computer system that's intelligently harnessing the lakes of information, it's saying, I've got 4 cars. Now I want to look at what's going on with the security system there. And then I want to look at what users are accessing it that maybe shouldn't be there. And having that information presented to the analyst first, so that the analyst isn't sifting through thousands and thousands of images. The AI solution is making sense of the pools of information and presenting the most interesting things to you first. And what we call the intelligent application of AI is, some people call it the gamification of a UI. And what we mean by that is, if I have a bank of 100 analysts and they're all sifting through data, if I can use an engine that's presenting the 10 most important things that they should look, 10% of the most important things, if I've got thousands and thousands of records, I'm going to present to you the 10 most important things of interest, and the analysts are all presented that data at the same time. And what they mean by gamification is that they make it so that there's a competition between the analysts. And each of the analysts who solve the problem first or come to a resolution, good or bad, or whether or not the car was supposed to be there or not supposed to be there, that analyst then gets credits for it. It's almost like winning a game. And then each of those analysts earns badges and stars, and they rank themselves. So it becomes like built-in competition with a team. We're finding that these types of emerging technologies are what are trying to make work fun again for a younger generation of people who, let's face it, most of us aren't excited about sitting at a desk 8 hours a day. You try to make work fun, and then it doesn't feel so much like work. So I think that these emerging technologies are going to have the great impact on TekSynap, and we're already doing some of those things. So if you have curiosities about those things, see your boss, send some inquiries into the corporate information inbox, and we'll turn you on to the things that we're doing. Okay, I'm getting motion that we're supposed to be speeding it up because we're running out of time.
Okay.
All right, next.
We're on 8. So we're going to
Eight.
let's roll to 8.
Let's roll to 8. We're running out of
And-
time.
Peppers up, hot sauce.
It has a skeleton that looks like the skeleton is suffering a little bit. Okay, there you go.
You were generous with your.
I was too generous with the last one. It took like, for me, it took like 30 seconds, and it had that burn, and it's like, it took 30 seconds for it to really hit. And the water and the milk did nothing to help.
It has a red pepper, and he's feeding it to himself in a skull. Oh gosh, this one looks scary. All right.
I went a little quick. But they're having the,
I don't like that one. Oh, it's hot.
it's hot. But the last two,
I just like the taste of that one.
the build starts like 5 seconds.
Okay, let's go to the
after
question.
is building right now.
All right, me or you?
I think it's you.
Oh my gosh, I had the hiccups. That last one was hot. Many large services companies are exploring opportunities to add some form of research and development activities to their normal business. They, like Leidos, for example, built their own labs for new technological exploration and
Tons,
innovation while continuing to work closely. That last one was hot.
Yeah,
For
it's still
Fed,
building.
to work closely with the feds on this matter. Do you see any potential developments with this direction within the company? Absolutely. This is a great question. It's anonymous, by the way. So you want to take a stab and then I'll take it?
Yeah, I mean, so
That last
it
one, really.
sounds to me like investment in a lab again. Is that what we're talking about? Investment in
Oh
research?
my
and
gosh, this last one. Yeah,
development?
I'm sorry. I'll
You
get
know
back
what?
to you in a
It's
minute.
building. But
Whew.
I'm going to go back to TekSellerate and make sure that we're all leveraging TekSellerate. This is a tool that yeah, my tongue is dead.
Oh my gosh, it's burning. Oh,
TekSellerate is a tool that not every company has and every company wants. We've invested in that here.
My
We need
nose
to make
is
sure that we're leveraging that. I think that's what this question is getting to. Is this anonymous? But yeah, so TekSellerate. Bam.
okay, geez. I can't think now. All right, I'm gonna go fast. Okay, so first we have two labs. We have one that's here in Reston, and we have another one that's being built out right now as we speak in Boston, supporting customer missions. These labs are accessible to everybody in the company, and it has so many technologies in there. It's cloud hybrid, it's physical space in here and in the space in Boston, and it has everything from Nutanix, Juniper, Cisco, ICE, ClearPass, HP, Dell, server clusters, VMware clusters, you name it. I don't want to say everything's in there because probably everything's not in there, but it also has simulation tools. That last one was evil.
Yeah.
But we've made significant investments in the lab, and it's where we prototype some of the things that I was talking about earlier. And it's a really cool place for you to create playgrounds, prototype ideas and concepts, and then take them to the customers as a solution. It's always more powerful to show a customer than to talk about it. And
The best way to get customers and become that trusted advisor, bring them in the office. How you going to bring them in that office is use the TekSellerate lab. That ice cream?
oh my gosh, I think I need to get to the ice
Look
cream.
out.
Let's go. Let's
But no,
go.
this one has an atom bomb on it, and
Oh, dude, I don't
it's
know if I can
called
do it.
the bomb evolution. And they get bad when the warning signals start coming up. I don't know if we've gotten to the ghost pepper here.
Just pour it. Let's go.
We'll go there.
Did you already pour yours?
I did. I put too much on it. This one's gonna last. That's gonna last. That's gonna be.
Whose idea was this? Oh shoot, I put too much on there. No, I'm not eating that much.
You took a lot too.
Oh no. So far, so good.
I think this is one that's gonna kick in.
That's what I'm afraid of. Here's the lid. Oh. Yeah,
Okay,
it's good.
question number 9.
Go.
I know it can be a sensitive subject with everything. This is submitted by anonymous, by the way. I know it can be a sensitive subject with everything that is going on with the government these days. However, I think we'd all like to know how our near future looks. Okay. Would you please let us know what the next couple of years looks like for TekSynap? So looks
I
like
love this question.
Yeah.
I love this question. You should have put your name by it. It's anonymous. So, wow, that one is really kicking it. It just took time for it to kick in. My tongue is on fire. Okay, so the things that are happening with DOGE, let's face it, Department of Government Efficiency, where a lot of things are getting cut. I think this is a wonderful time for TekSynap because we are a technology company. And as a technology company, technology is what brings efficiencies. So I think this is an era of huge opportunity for the company to grow. So far, thankfully, knock on wood, we have not been affected terribly by any of the DOGE cuts because we're really diversified in terms of our portfolio. Wow, that was hot. And the idea is that I can't even think. Like I'm having trouble like collecting my thoughts.
For me, I have just a general pain on my tongue.
I know.
It's just painful, but it's not.
Anyway, so this is a controversial era, but it really shouldn't be because everybody who's been in the government contractor space knows that there are so much efficiencies that can be gained and taxpayer dollars saved by doing automations and enhancements to technology. Everyone knows who's done a tax return knows that there's probably a better way to skin how to pay taxes. But whether you're talking about the Social Security Administration or the amount of redundant payments within the system, within the Medicare system, that where you can root out waste, or I don't want to talk about fraud, waste, and abuse because it's on the lips of everybody. But I really think it's a wonderful time for us to be able to embrace technology to bring and solve those mission problems. And technology is the best way to do that. So I think it's a great time. It's really a great time. Would you please let me know what the next couple of years looks like for TekSynap? So hopefully I answered that question, but keep enhancing your career and keep pressing the envelope on embracing technology. So on to the next one.
On to the next one.
Did I give you a chance to answer that one?
I'll answer real quick. Just basically, TekSynap's in a very healthy position right now. For my responsibility, I run the IS business, and we're investing in the IS business to grow that projects business, that engineer, furnish, and install business. With time, we'll go to the next one real quick. All right.
The last dab. The last dab experience with a big X. I'm afraid that last one was brutal.
It doesn't seem to clear when
I'm
you,
only putting a dab on this
that's probably smart.
because the last one, whoa. Oh, so kind of them to bring ice cream.
Oh, that's too much, isn't it?
Go for it, Henry.
No,
Let's see what happens.
that's not good.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
You could do it.
That's not going to be good.
Ice cream with chicken. No.
I would never. All right, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. All right, Ted, let's go.
All right,
Me or you?
I think it's you.
Okay, regarding recent news around so many spending reductions within the government, particularly related to defense spending and/or DOGE, I'm interested in understanding the company's strategic outlook. How is TekSynap assessing the potential impacts on current and future contracts? Okay. You
Okay.
first or me?
I'll go first. I'll go quick. And I'll let you finish off because I know this is really important. It's probably top of mind for most people that are listening right now.
I need a fan.
What I've seen with TekSynap, and I've had the opportunity to listen to how we've done and how we've grown to who we are today, is we've taken challenges from our customers, and our biggest customers that we have is we've seen the challenge with them. We created opportunities out of those challenges. We did that at the VA. When the VA was under a tremendous amount of challenge, we stepped up and we were that trusted advisor with the customer. So when we are working with our customer, become that trusted advisor with DOGE, when you sell IT, we are selling efficiencies, right? We're selling efficiencies, we're selling situational awareness. So this is
Okay, we're getting the 1 minute
opportunity.
warning.
All right, go, you go.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I'll give an example of a friend of mine I had lunch with about 4 weeks ago, and his company was significantly impacted by DOGE because 80% of his company was in USAID, which we
Oh,
all
wow.
know from the news got cut. His company was severely impacted by the cancellation of, well, the elimination of that agency. Thankfully, TekSynap is highly diversified. We have contracts in the civilian market, the defense market, and even in the intel market, thanks to Susan Case. So we have this good diversity within our portfolio. We have, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, we have work at the Department of Energy, we have work at the Department of Commerce, we have work at the National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration, we have a ton of work at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs serving our nation's finest. We do a lot of work in the fourth estate realm and defense. We do work for Army, for Navy, for Air Force. So I believe that the impact for us as a company will be limited. I know my nose is watering, but we also, many of our programs are what I call mission essential. And they're deemed mission essential. When they're mission essential, they are usually less likely to get the whack or the axe. So as far as assessing the potential impact on our current and future contracts, we've gone contract by contract. And fortunately, at this stage, we haven't been affected as others have been, very little. So we've assessed each of the existing contracts, but actually looked at other agencies where DOGE is saying, I need efficiencies. So I think that concludes, I'm getting the cut from everyone. I want to thank all of you for joining today. For those who got on, that's the first time we've done this.
Yeah. Cam, I want to thank you and giving me the opportunity to torture myself here. And I know that I'm going to be in pain for the next hour, but it was great.
Why did I join TekSynap? What was I thinking? But thank you all. Have a great day. And hopefully you got something out of this. Keep submitting your questions. We'll do another one next month. Peace.